Market is kind of just hanging around at the moment while we're waiting for this FOMC. This could be one of the biggest FOMCs we've had in a long time. The market is really expecting some things later on. So I'm going to give you my full plan for this FOMC. Then we're taking a look at a ton of these altcoins. They are sitting on huge support areas. Are they teeing up for a bit of a bounce here? And then I've got the old Dusty that is breaking trend on the weekly. So stick around. You don't want to miss this one because I've actually opened a long on the old Dusty. So let's get right into this. Before we get right into this, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the bell and the subscribe button. And the man has got his bull goggles on. I don't know. We haven't really been given the sign yet, but look at these things. They're pumping. They are pumping. And Banter Plus, look, Banter Plus, Banter Bubbles, mixed bag of tricks here. But Cass, you guys saw that Cass yesterday. Hopefully some of you guys jumped into that top right corner. Look at that, 6% up. We are now in price discovery. We all-time highs. And the new target that I gave you guys yesterday is now bang on track. So that is looking good. Beam gaming play looking good. Ave, a nice little DeFi play on ETH, and that is a nice little one, 4%. And old Dusty over here, 6%. Can we just let's just have a moment for Dusty? Come on, XRP is back in the game, and I can't believe I'm trading this absolute shitcoin. But a trade is a trade, and we're gonna deal with it. Okay. Let's see, what is the market doing right now with BTC? So no real changes from yesterday. We were looking at this 65,500 to 65,900 region, and nothing's really changed. I mean, all they've done here is just hold this trend support for us all the way while we're leading into the FOMC. So like I said yesterday, not expecting too many fireworks leading into such a major event here. And here we are. So now 65,950, that is going to be support we are watching currently today, and that is the one we want to see hold. So I'm going to tell you shortly, my thoughts on this FOMC, but let's just look at some reaction zones here. So number one, if we start getting a pump today, okay, 67, 160, watch that area closely. Look for TPs there. Next pump zone, 68, 300. Potential TP zone. Remember, on these FOMCs, quite often, if they are dovish, for example, we could get a pump into these regions, but quite often they retrace back to where these things started. So just look out for that thing. And then also with the bearish side of things, if we do get some kind of dump on this FOMC, we're going to be watching 65,950. Watch that area. If we lose the trend, you're looking for a bounce here, 65,800. That could be your bounce zone. You might be very surprised to see whether he's dovish or whether he's hawkish later on today. We could be in a situation where 24 hours later, everything just goes back to where we were. Okay, so just play things accordingly. Make sure you understand your big reaction zones. Make sure you know where you need to TP. Make sure you know where you're looking for bounce plays or potential shorts at rejection zones. Then a little bit lower. Now, if things turn really ugly today, I just want to highlight this one for you again. This is 65,700. Okay, big area here for me, 65,700. That's the 50-day MA as well, and tied in with some horizontals there. So big zone there for us for the downside. Now you are covered. Okay, we've got all bases covered here for the FOMC. If they're going to pump us up, we know what they're going to do. If they're going to send us down, we know these big zones that we are going to be watching. So we're going to get deeper into that in a couple of minutes. But the most important thing I need to show you here is a very important video of what happens at the FOMC. Ray, you need to watch this one. This is critical stuff. And let me know if you can actually hear this, Ray. Can you hear this? The most expensive good afternoon.
Everyone has had one of those. Everybody.
I think we've all had one of those. But these FOMCs, they're fun to trade. They do give us a lot of action. Sometimes it burns. Sometimes it really it's a bit of a heartbreaker. But other days we get the moves we want. So that is a typical FOMC scenario there for you guys. And Ali Charts just reminding us 62% of accounts with open BTC positions on Binance Futures are longing Bitcoin. Okay, so they are longing the FOMC meeting. There's a lot of guys taking longs here into the FOMC and teeing up for hopefully maybe some kind of bullish news coming later, or dovish for that matter. And then just a little bit of news in around the world. Mr. Putain. Russia to legalize Bitcoin and crypto as a foreign currency for international payments. That's pretty huge. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And then these guys, El Salvador, proposes settling trade with Russia in cryptocurrency. Okay, I mean, this shit is getting real now, guys. It's really getting real. Stuff is happening. And then this is an exciting thing for me. You can now potentially start shorting these absolute shit meme coins, okay? These pump and dumps. We can now revenge short these things. And there's a little site here that's launched. I think it's just a test site at the moment. So this is coming. I haven't played with this thing yet. How do we get this inverse pool? But basically, we're going to be able to short all these pump and dumps, and maybe we can make money on the way down. So here's 𝗤𝗢𝗓𝗏. I've just seen this now today, haven't tested it, haven't used it, have done nothing other than see this tweet about 30 minutes ago, and I thought this is good shit. So take a look at this 𝗤𝗢𝗓𝗏. And for those of you wondering what type of meme coins, well, what they do, well, look at this. Okay, now, if you're not making money on the upside, and you know these things are driven by news, they're driven by people making comments on Twitter, and then they're driven by FUD. And if we can catch these things right, there could be some massive moves here. I mean, here's one of these called Nero. Let's just see at this dump. Now, after this weekend, just taking that high down to that low, there's a 100% move there on this thing. Now, imagine we are able to short these things. So I'm going to be trying to dig into this 𝗤𝗢𝗓𝗏 and whatever they're calling this. 𝗤𝗢𝗓𝗏. I'm going to dig into this thing and play around with it and see how we can do this. I'm going to test this for you guys and then see if we can do some revenge shorts like Mr. 100 is telling us there. And look at this, the S&P. This is absolute beauty. Now, the S&P, this is interesting to me. The market seems to be pricing in a dovish pile already on the S&P. This is way outperforming BTC at the moment. So just a little bit of caution here required. When we see the market pumping into FOMC, that is potentially a little bit of a danger sign here for us. And what I was talking about yesterday, we had this beautiful gap here on the S&P. So right now, the S&P is on its way to fill the gap. So look out for a rejection here. 5,550. Look out for this region over here. They're potentially just going to fill this gap and then potentially reject us. So watch out. We're pumping in to FOMC on the US S&P 500. That could be a little danger sign that maybe things are not going to play accordingly. So just look out for that. Just be careful. Just be careful. And NVIDIA, I gave you guys the setup on NVIDIA. I told you this was a juicy zone yesterday. 100-day MA and trend. Look at this thing. It's absolutely ripped. Let's just see the size of the move. And, right now, some of these S&P stocks, look at that. 12% pump. I'd love to see AVAX do a 12% pump. But fuck me, NVIDIA, there it goes. Off a 100-day MA, off a trend line, bang. And now moving into a possible resistance area, rejection zone. So guys, if you are trading some of these stocks, absolute banger. If you're trading some of these stocks, they are quite fun that you can trade. 12% move here on NVIDIA. You are moving into a potential rejection area. And isn't that quite uncanny that it's looking for a rejection here at the 50-day MA at 119, while the S&P is looking to potentially reject here and close this gap. So just be careful there. If you did long this NVIDIA yesterday, you are now pushing into a resistance area. So exercise a little bit of caution. And then one more stock for you. I just thought out of interest, Microsoft, they missed their earnings here. They got 64.5 instead of 64.7. So it's not the end of the world. It wasn't the worst thing in history. Jason likes that. It wasn't the worst thing in history. But right now, Microsoft hanging on to a macro trend here. So watch this area closely now. Microsoft, your support 412. Okay, if that area starts getting lost, your next reasonable zone for Microsoft traders, you're looking at 400 as your next big area. So we are holding this macro trend. So there is a little bit of action here in play. Look at this trend. It goes back all the way. Where was this? January 23. Okay, so we don't really want to start losing that one on some of these tech stocks because then they're going to start really looking ugly. I mean, look at this. You can already see this picture potentially forming here. If we get this little dip lower and we get something like that, oof. Don't want to look at that, but that could be horrific for Microsoft traders. So that's that. And then here I am on Prime XBT. I am long BTC, 0.75 BTC, and it started a small position. I added it when it broke that trend, and now it's been chopping around. So not so exciting at the moment, but we are sitting in a 0.75 BTC long. Let's see. You can see where my stop is at the moment, 65,890. And if that's for me, we're losing that trend. If we start losing that trend, then, we're potentially going south. So don't necessarily want to be hanging around there. And that is what I'm going to be watching. So my stop for BTC, 65,890 here on Prime XBT. Let's see if this can hold the momentum, and let's see if we can rinse out some of these bears, because here's our liquidation map on the daily, and let's see what their plan is. Now, I can assure you, with the type of volatility coming today, I wouldn't be surprised to see both ways sorted out. So if you are trading high leverage, just remember the rules here. You can get rinsed up, you can get rinsed down, and then you can get rinsed up and down one more time. So just be super cautious here with how you're trading. You don't want to be in 1,000 positions here. You maybe want to be nursing a handful of positions. So just be careful today. You could get volatility. And the liquidation map, look at the 69,400. That's the absolute peak. And the lows here, 64K. That looks juicy. Wow. That looks pretty good. And then 63K, 64, 63K are the liquidation zones where these guys could easily come and send BTC. So just watch those areas closely here, expecting tons of volatility later on today. And now, here's something interesting for you guys. And this is wise advice. Now, you've seen this. You've probably seen multiple tweets about this today. There's tons of guys talking about it. I don't know who created the original, but I even saw Ben Cowan with something like this as well. But basically, they've just highlighted 3 out of the 4 FOMC meetings have marked BTC bottoms. Okay, 3 out of 4. Okay, that's a 75% hit rate that the FOMC has marked the bottom. Okay, so there's a very good chance. There's a 75% probability here that the current low that we saw earlier this week could be the potential bottom. So here's a nice little chart that they gave you guys. They're just explaining what happened here. So on the left-hand side, you can see that was the bottom there, and then they sent this thing up. Then the next time, March, FOMC, what was that? They pinged the bottom, send it higher. May, same story, pinged the bottom, sent it higher. And then June. Okay, but June was a tricky one because there was CPI on that day as well. So that was super tricky. If you guys were trading that one, I was trading that one. That was a choppy couple of days there. So June, that one went down. So today, 75% probability here that this thing could potentially go back up. Now, that's based on the last 4 FOMC. So a little bit of positivity floating around. And then just a note here from Don Crypto Trades, and this is exactly what I was saying now about the S&P 500. He's saying likely these investors are front-running a potential dovish power later today. Okay, so just exercise caution. When you see super green candles into an event, whether it's CPI or FOMC and things like that, you just want to make sure you massage some of those trades, maybe take some profits, maybe de-risk a little bit, because quite often when you get a pump into these major events, it results in a sell-off. And the same conversely, when you get a dump into these major events, it often results in a pump. Okay, you were warned. Just remember, just exercise caution here today. And Ivan says he's selling the house for leverage. Well, hopefully it's low leverage for this volatility coming later on today. And then BTC on the daily, all is well. No changes here for me. And the big zone, 63,785. That's interesting. That ties in with the low of that liquidation map that I've just shown you guys. So that is an interesting area for me. 63,785. Watch that zone. If we get extreme volatility, we could we could easily see a big wick down to those areas. And then dominance, last one, this is dominance 4. Obviously, we're watching this for altcoin traders or as altcoin traders. Right now, we've seen a nice push down in dominance on the daily. Things are looking good, but watch out. We are now reacting here, potentially pushing higher on dominance. Not a problem if BTC is pumping higher. We can embrace that. We can be happy. But watch out. If BTC is losing that trend and falling over and this dominance is pumping, then we're going to feel some pain, lots of pain. So eyes on this dominance chart with your trading as well. And then Van Spencer, let's get into some of these alts. And Van Spencer telling us BlackRock had more flows to ETH than BTC today. Okay, that is ridiculous. Okay, there's more interest in ETH than BTC. And 𝗬𝗢𝗓𝗕, he says the ETH ETF, okay, already in the top 15 of all new ETF launches this year. Okay, after 1 week. Okay, and Mr. 100 says, sell the news, buy the manipulation. Guys, who else is here? Who else is hanging with me? I see Pickle is selling his neighbor's teeth for leverage. Okay, that's not bad. What else? Joy is talking about pumpy. Come on, bro. Come on. Do anything for a little bit of leverage. And Daryl says it's 6-month ride till we reach the top. And what does Zoop say? He says, oh, I've seen that quick wick down so many times. Guys, if you traded these events before, okay, there's no surprises here. There's nothing new coming. Okay, you know the drill. Okay, green candles, we sell those. Red candles, we tend to buy those into these events. Just be careful. And how often do we get the full round trip? Okay, no matter what the situation is, within 24 hours, they come back. So let's not get too euphoric on things here. Let's just make sure we are balanced and we are rational when we're making these decisions. And James, that's a good one. Welcome to FOMC washing machine extra rinse cycle, guys. Look, we're in for volatility. I'm going to show you some altcoins. They're sitting on good areas. Decide for yourself how you want to play these things. Okay, let's get into it. Here is ETH. And still in this tight range I showed you guys yesterday. So the lows for ETH for me, 3,200. Look out for a wick into that zone. If there's volatility, that could be a really sneaky buy. Now, if there's something, if some volatility later, 3,200. Love the look of that. 3,100, 618 as well. So tee up these areas. Watch these areas. If there is a little bit of weakness now from this FOMC, watch these zones. 3,200, 3,100. Love them as reaction areas, and then huge resistance ahead of us. So this is the interesting thing. If Powell comes pretty dovish now later today, and the market does start cracking, for example, a big resistance band, okay, you want to make sure you are grabbing or TPing something here with ETH. But if we do blow through the major resistance at 3380, you're going to try and long this thing with confidence on the support band when we do get that pullback. So look out. Let's blow that resistance zone. If we break that area convincingly, let this thing retrace. And 3380 could be a really good, nice bullish buy zone there for ETH. So let's just get through that 50-day MA, the 100-day MA, and let's see then if we can get that support buy. For me, that would be a potential nice long trade there on ETH. And then Don Crypto Trade's got a couple in the bag here. He's talking about DeFi looking interesting. And yesterday I gave you, we looked at Aave yesterday. I'm going to pull that one up for you again. And I've got Maker here today for you guys as well. So let's just look at that. Follow Don Crypto Trades. He's actually a very solid account here. Drops great alpha. And he's now talking about DeFi waking up again. So I thought, well, let's relook at the situation. This was Aave yesterday that we were looking at. So no changes to me on Aave. 104 is still your support on Aave. I'm sitting in an Aave position at the moment. And 104, you lose that 104, that is going to be your exit zone. So looking out for this area. Remember, if you are longing now, this horse is bolted a little bit. Okay, so your risk is now slightly increased. If you are longing now, your reasonable support area is 104. So look out for that area over there. So if you are longing now, your risk is currently 3.9% for a potential upside target for me of the first one is 8%. The next one is 23%. So these are the two areas that I would be hunting here on Aave, and that's a bullish Aave and a dovish Jerome Powell later on today. Bearish Joe Powell. Well, let's just see how we're going to deal with this. I think we all agree DeFi could be a thing. I think we all agree if he's a little bit hawkish today, the market will obviously panic. They'll sell some things, and then things are going to start recovering. But look at these reaction zones here for you. Look at these areas. You want to react on the likes? Guys,
yeah,
you know, like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you enjoy the alpha, if you enjoy the content, and also while you're at it, and thanks for doing it to those of you that did it for me yesterday, okay? Drop the tokens you're interested in the chat after the show. Then Ray and myself can look at it, and we can start planning the next day as to which tokens we can pull out for you guys. It makes it so much easier for me because I want to chart your tokens as well for you. So drop those for me. Now, if Joe Powell comes out hawkish today and things start sweating out, I still think Aave is a great trade. I still think it's a great ETH play. I still think it's a great ETH position, okay? Look for wicks, 99. Look for wicks, 92. Okay, these are the areas. If they get bleedy and they get sweaty, 99, 92. These are your zones. This is where you might pick up a guard mode entry here on Aave. So watch that one there for you. And upside target 131, upside target 114. Okay, and here's Maker. Also, just interesting to me, it's broken out of a nice bull flag, okay? So this is looking pretty decent. Bogdan is here. Bogdan, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been hiding? And Bogdan is our resident Rune trader, that guy. He's traded two tokens that I'm aware of, Arweave and Rune. I think Rune's his big banger. And okay, let's get back to Maker. So Maker, a nice bull flag, okay? That's great. We've now broken out of a bull flag. This thing is looking pretty bullish. Okay, so if you're watching this bull flag, tracking this thing down, you can see what's happened here. It's reacted off major support. What is major support? 200-day moving average, 100-day moving average, and a 0.5 fib tied in with these horizontals. That is major support for me here at 2,600 on Maker. So any weakness today, any dovish news today, I think we get a wick down into that zone. That's for buying for me. Okay, I can't see them pushing this lower than that region. So look out for potential buy. If we do get a wick on any bearish news into that zone, 2,550, 2,600 maker, looks like a banger, and then easy little upside for you guys. Very simple play here. You're just looking at these horizontals at around about that 3,200 region. So you're going to look something like that. And depends where they want to come and wick us. Now, your first area here, if they are going to come a little bit dovish here with us, your first area, 2,680, okay? And your next area, if they're really going to get, if they're going to put us under pressure here, you've got that zone, okay? That's 2,600, 2,550. Look for buys there, okay? Look for potential little grabs there, especially the leverage traders. And that is what you're going to be looking for. And remember, if we lose major support areas, if we lose those and we close under those areas, that generally tells us that things are turning super bearish. So they are great invalidation areas for you. These are great areas to say, hey, your trade is wrong. Get out of this thing, okay? And that's if we are closing under those zones. So that is how I would play that. Maker's looking good. And now let's go Bitfunded, because I've opened a new Bitfunded trade as well. So Bitfunded, as you guys saw last week, I passed stage 1. Then I opened a rune trade and I successfully smashed the rune trade. But it turns out that I didn't click the right buttons on this thing. So you can see on the right-hand side, the update is a little bit slow. You can see it says last updated on the 25th of July, okay? So I've spoken to the tech guys and I've had to now take a new trade because I clicked the wrong button. So if you are playing on Bitfunded, make sure when you pass challenge 1, make sure you go to proceed to trade, okay? Then that's going to open up challenge 2 for you. So you can still see I'm sitting in number 2 here, and I'm now currently in a trade. So Bitfunded, just for those of you that don't know how this works, basically you send them $49 or $99. They give you a demo account, $5,000 or $10,000. You show them that you can trade. How do you do that? You get an 8% pass on challenge 1, then you get a 5% pass on challenge 2. If you complete these 2 stages, they give you a live account. Okay, so in this case, they're going to give me a $10,000 live trading account with actual funds. I'm going to keep 90% of those profits. Okay, but step 1 is now I need to get into the live trading account. So here is my current trade that I've opened, and I've actually opened AVAX on 2 platforms. So AVAX is one of them here that I'm running now on Bitfunded. I need to make $500. Okay, that will get me into the next stage. Okay, so I made 590 on that rune trade, but apparently I clicked the wrong buttons. So here we are again, and now I'm trying to make $500 on AVAX. My current stop is at 25.78. And let's see how that plays out. So 25.78 is under the lows. So you can see it's a very simple trade that I've taken here. Here's the lows. I've got to stop under that area. So my risk is going to be about $170 on this position. And I'm just trying to manage my risk here, because if this one gets stopped out, I want to make sure I can take at least another 2 trades before they bail me out of stage 2. So just remember, it's all about position size here. You want to manage your risk because you want to get into that funded account for you. And then we can make some money. Okay, so that is my current game plan here. Looking for a little bit more on AVAX naturally, but my stop, 25.78. And here's the AVAX chart. And this is why it looked good to me today. So with the rest of the market, we've seen a little bit of a bleed out on all these altcoins. And what is going on here with AVAX? They've bled into the major 618 pool. This is from the absolute lows here on Friday, the 5th of July, to these highs. This was Trump time when they were pumping these things. And now we are at 26. So this is a typical area where you get a reaction on these altcoins. Again, this doesn't always necessarily say this is the absolute bottom and this thing's going to the moon. All it tells me is this is a reaction zone. This is a decent area where you can start fiddling around looking for potential long. So that is exactly what I've done here. 26 for me on AVAX, looking interesting here for us anywhere in this region. You can see it's a big 618 pool. We do have some horizontals here tied in with us as well. So watching this area closely at the moment for AVAX, if they are going to get nasty, okay, if they're going to get hawkish and they're going to dump us, make sure you know where is your next buy zone. If we do get a dump and we get a fast dump, you generally get a quick opportunity to jump in off a major area. And I just want to highlight this for you guys, 24.18. Okay, if these guys get messy with you and they want to send it lower, you've got your area here, 24.18. Look for a reaction down in this zone, okay? Depends how brutal the news is, depends how brutal it is as to what he's saying, but 24.1 should be a nice little reaction zone here for you guys. So watching that one if this current area fails, but right now, this is what my current trade looks like. and my stop is just under that wick. Okay, so we're going to see how we go. They might play some games here. They might actually try and stop me out or anyone in these areas with these wicks. So just make sure you're watching live, because you might have to re-enter again if you've got a hard stop in place. Okay, remember, a hard stop is one that you leave there and you walk away, and if they ping that area, they close it. A soft stop would be something that you're watching in the area, and then you can manage the trade as you go. So just be careful. If they do come and wick you out, you might have to jump back in this one if they reclaim that 618. Okay, you can see that 618 here, 26 is what you're going to be watching. And okay, here's my current AVAX trade that we got cooking here. This was on Zoomex. Now, there's a special offer for you guys on Zoomex, and I didn't tell you guys about this yesterday, so it's my bad. But basically, all you need to do is go into the show description. Zoomex is a KYC, no KYC exchange, so KYC friendly exchange. You go into there, you click on my link. Okay, you deposit $100, they're going to give you $25. Okay, so sign up to Zoomex, use my link in the description, deposit $100, they're giving you $25, and you can use that to trade with and get stuck in there on Zoomex and test it out. Okay, so there's the offer, and looking good. So AVAX, you can see here's my real AVAX position now, and looking for bigger things. My average entry 26.1, and we're going to look at a stop again under those lows, the same way I've done it here on Bitfunded, looking for the same type of situation. So that is that. And then I've got another one for you guys, TON. Now, this thing, we haven't spoken about this one much lately, but it caught my eye today. And this thing is starting to look pretty interesting to me. And it's now pushing into a big resistance band. So it's looked a lot more bullish than a lot of these other altcoins. You can see if you compare it to AVAX and a lot of these others, this thing is now pushing up into a resistance band. So for me, TON 6.86. Watch this area. Okay, I'm loving the look of this at the moment. It's cracking the 100-day MA. I think we're going to get a nice little move here on TON. Let's just survive this FOMC. Let's just get through the sweat, okay, of this FOMC. Let's get through the jitters. But looks like we are reclaiming the 100-day MA. If we get a candle close above the 6.82 region, candle close above 6.82, could be pretty interesting here, guys. We've got a trend coming, and then we're looking for some bigger things here. We do have a target, the 50-day MA, which is at 7.3. But right now, let's crack this 100-day MA, and let's get over this. So 6.82, looking quite bullish here. Okay, just want to get this little retest, and then I think we're going to be okay. So TON's looking good. And then another thing I've just seen now, and this is just me leading into Solana for you guys, but wait, hang around, because I literally took a long on the shittest shitcoin in shitcoinery history. Okay, so hang around. It's coming. Okay, it's coming. And here is Make Me Now. Okay, makenow.meme. Okay, also, just saw this today. Okay, and you can now apparently make meme coins on Twitter. Okay, now I haven't gone deep into this. I haven't tested it. It's just come up in the newsroom today, and that is now looking interesting. And obviously, naturally, we look at the Sol network for this. And obviously, with all these things happening on Solana, we know there's lots of activity, and that is why Sol quite often behaves a bit like a stable coin. Okay, whether there's downside or upside, it's been relatively slow lately relative to some other tokens. And you can see how Sol has just chopped around the last week or so. Just look how this thing is just floating around in the zone. So Sol, let's just confirm our big zones here. Obviously, a massive fan of Sol, a huge Sol fan, and looking for good areas of interest for me. So number one, 176, nothing has changed here. We looked at the zone yesterday. We've pinged that area. So we know this area is support, 176 for us for Sol. And then a little bit lower down, no changes here. Look for that wick if they're going to come for us later. 166. Okay, that could be an absolute banger here for you. And that's a simple 382 and trend retest here for us on Sol. So 166, get this alarm on. If there is weakness, get the alarm on. Look how it's reacting in the zone. When this is happening live, check out the area. See if you're getting a decent reaction. Dial in 15 minutes. Look at those candles. And if this thing starts holding this 166 region, you're going to bang your stop under that candle low, and then you're going to look for a move a little bit higher. So Sol is looking decent to me. This is Sol on the daily. Big support, 176. Next one, 166. Watching that area closely. Next one, CAS. Now, did you guys get the CAS trade? And this thing is now cooking. I see I am Richie. He says he's long ton. He's a long ton. And that thing is cooking. So CAS, guys, price discovery 0.23. This is my target. And Bogdan, I'm trying, bro. I'm working on this Sol to 2000. I'm doing my absolute best here. And but right now, I'm just trying to send CAS to 0.23. Maybe we can just blow on these candles a little bit. Maybe they can just go a little bit higher here for us. Just a little bit higher, right? just a little bit. 0.23 is what I'm looking at, and CAS and your support. Big area here for me, 0.193, 0.195. This is now your new support marker for CAS, okay? So any weakness here, any moves lower, you're looking to remain bullish here, 0.195 to 0.19. That is what you're looking to hold now. If you're jumping into CAS now, you're a little bit late, and you want to just be safe, okay? So if you're jumping into CAS now, there's a long way down, okay, for this potential stop loss. So just be careful. Your buy zone, 0.195 to 0.19. Ideally, that is what it's going to be. And we're just looking for this typical SR flip here, that support, resistance turning into support. And we're looking for that to push higher. But isn't this a typical little squeezy scenario that I love on these altcoins? Look at this. They start squeezing these things higher and they just pop in these areas, and then you get that little retest there. So CAS, all systems go. I hope some of you guys got that CAS yesterday. Nice little banger, and there for us. And Jonas says, let's all laugh together, but he's got no audio. What's going on with the audio? Hopefully you guys are hearing me. I see 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗕𝗏 is talking about AVAX memes here. Are we good? Yeah, Ray, we good. What else has he got? He says, don't forget Banter Bubbles. It's your friend. Agree. Guys, there's so much more happening on Banter Bubbles. Look at the newsroom. Click the top right here. You can see the newsroom, okay? Everyone's dropping, all the researchers and everybody. I'm in there occasionally as well, dropping a couple of things. There's a full-on research situation going here on Banter Bubbles, okay? So thanks, 𝗬𝗢𝗓𝗏. And the local mascot here, reminding everybody, Banter Bubbles is where it's at. Okay, let's go into the next one, which I've got for you. Guys, we almost at XRP. Just hang on there. Just hang on. We almost getting to XRP. The anticipation, it's killing me. I'm not even coping. 𝗬𝗢𝗓𝗓, here we are today. So I gave you this one yesterday, looking for a little bounce in the zone. So I grabbed some 𝗬𝗓𝗓 earlier today. Nice little horizontal here at 29. What do we have? We've got the 200-day MA support. We've got the 50-day MA support. I've got a big 382 pull. I've got horizontals in this area. There's multiple levels of confluence here for me, telling me this zone in general here, anything down to 28 is a nice little 𝗬𝗓𝗓 area. So look out for some volatility in this area. Look out for these regions to hold. But for me, 𝗬𝗓𝗓 is solid. If Joe Powell comes out relatively flat today or dovish, these things should hold these levels, and then they should start cooking. If he comes out hawkish, we're probably going to lose some of these levels, and then it remains to be seen how quickly we recover these areas. Okay, so we want to see these things after they get lost tonight. If he's very hawkish, we want to see them get recovered and reclaimed pretty quickly. So we're going to look for these candles to start pushing back up very fast in these areas. If we can see that recovering, then for me, it's a long in the zone again. So you just want to reclaim that area. Often you want to watch for that candle close. That's why they often send you down, grab some liquidity, hang out, close some stops, and then they send this thing back up again. So look out for something along those lines. Okay, it's time. Raymond, it's time. I can't believe I've done this.
What are we seeing here? What's happening?
I can't believe I've done this. XRP.
The dinosaurs coming out?
Okay,
you
guys,
got
the dust, my screen actually just started cracking. It's like turning brittle. But basically, the whole market is going down, according to this tweet, for the future FOMC meeting. XRP is almost 7% up. Okay, Bogdan, here's your trade. XRP, bro. You can take it with me. We go to zero together, guys. We're going to send this to zero together. And here's 5 reasons behind it. Number 1, there's a legal story behind XRP doing well. Okay, so we know there's anticipation. Number 2, activization in the market. Okay, the number of wallets that hold 10K XRP grows. Okay, I don't know why everyone would want to hold 10K XRP, but that's growing. Number 3, whales. Okay, most of them start moving money from centralized exchanges to wallets. Okay, Ripple business improvements. Okay, there you go. Token unlocks during the first part of August. 1 billion of XRP will be unlocked. Logically, it will drop the price, but in this case, it works the opposite way. Okay, so here's this guy's argument for XRP, and we can't ignore this thing. Okay, let's just, you know what? Let's just give it. Okay. I'm offended. But it's
CBDCs. CBDCs.
Be offended with me. Okay. Here's the story. Okay. XRP on the weekly, we cannot deny. Okay. It is breaking. Number 1, it's breaking a weekly trend. Number 2, it's breaking major weekly horizontals. Look at this. We've got all these candles up here in this band over here. Look at that. It's trying to push through this thick weekly band here at the moment. There's a couple of reasons here. why XRP is looking bullish to me. So trend break on the weekly, trend break, horizontal break on the weekly. Okay, support for me, XRP on the weekly, 0.59. Targets for me, XRP. Target number 1, 0.74. Okay, that's obvious. You can see that wick. Next target for me, it's got to be 93. Okay, these are your targets. If you want to trade this thing spot, or you're looking for something here on XRP, this is what it should look like. Okay, you can close under loss of 0.59 with an upside target. This could take weeks, it could take months to play out. Who knows? Okay, right now, support 0.59, close under that. Then you're chasing 0.55, okay? So manage that accordingly. If it loses 0.559, your big zone is the 200-day MA, 382 and horizontal, massive area at 0.55, okay? Next one is massive, 0.55. Watch that area over there. And then upside target, let's just see the size of the move here. So your risk right now, 8%, okay? That's your 8% stop on the weekly. This is for spot traders. Upside, 40%. Medium upside, 14%. Okay, so risk reward for the 14% moves, not great. Okay, the risk reward for the bigger move is great. Okay, it's sitting at 5. Okay, looks pretty decent here at the moment. Kenny says your CBDC will be distributed on the XRP ledger. Okay, well, there you go. You know, XRP bulls, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. Okay, if this thing rips, it rips, okay? And here's the deal. So I've zoomed in for you guys, for the leverage thugs out there, and myself included. And I'm looking at XRP on the 8 hour. So I've just zoomed in as with the hat on of a leverage trader, okay? I've said, okay, cool. We know this thing we can trade spot. Great. What do I do if I want to ape this thing on leverage? Well, you come to the right place. So we've got a little horizontal break at the moment here on XRP. And you can see what's happened here. We've broken through this resistance band. We've broken this resistance band, this resistance band. So right now for me, we're looking at a support zone here for leverage traders. 0.62, okay, is a nice little area. It's a nice little horizontal. Okay, so if we do get a pullback here, 0.62 looks like an interesting zone here for potential exit plan. Now, if we start losing that zone, that tells me that we're probably going to start drifting lower and we're going to start wicking out to lower areas. Okay, so we need to exercise a little bit of caution here if we start pushing lower than 0.62. So you're going to watch that area, and then the upside targets, they apply exactly. And here is my XRP trade. I've opened XRP here on Bybit. Now I'm going to tell you what's happening on Bybit in a second. And so, yeah, you can see what's going on. I've banged out a little trend. So I'm watching this little trend line as well. And remember the system here. If we start losing trends, then we know that things turn a little bit more bearish. And then we start highlighting our next little regions. Okay, so here's our next little region for me. So let's say we lose this trend. Then we start looking at that zone, okay? And we play that accordingly. But I've done it. I've opened an XRP long, and it is what it is, okay? I hope this thing pumps, okay? Let's hope it pumps inverse Celestia, for example. So there it is. There's my XRP on Bybit. Now, there's something interesting here with Bybit at the moment, and I want to remind you guys, there's a Cybertruck giveaway, but this isn't actually a trading competition. As it turns out, all you need to do is just be trading on it, okay? Every time you're trading on this thing, you're opening up a raffle ticket for the Cybertruck, okay? So here's a list of the trading volume as to what is going on there. But they explain this all to you very clearly, okay? So you're going to unlock the Cybertruck when the total volume has hit $3 billion, okay? That's with all the traders trading in this Bybit competition. And just get stuck in there, okay? Deposit $100 and get cracking. Okay, so as long as you're trading, here's all the information here. Participant 1, trade $200 volume, $800 volume, $1,000 volume. You can see every $1 in trading volume, you get one chance to win the entire prize pool. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, there's 45 days left. Somebody here, one of the lucky viewers that signs up with this link, is going to win a Cybertruck. Okay, can you believe this? Okay, you're going to win a Cybertruck. So get stuck into this. Here's a link in the description. Bybit is there. Where's it? There it is. Okay, fourth from the top. There's Bybit. Okay, sign up there. Use that link in the description. Take advantage of this offer. I mean, you don't get to win a Cybertruck every day just for trading. Okay, if you're trading, try it. Okay, you're entering into the raffle. So there it is. Okay, it's all going down. It's probably going to come with a banter branding on the bonnet as well. That could be fun. for you guys. Okay, there it is. Okay, so that is that. And you saw I was also in a 𝗲𝗏𝗜𝗄 scalpy there on Bybit, and 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 just looked interesting to me today. So simple little play. We've seen a ton of these altcoins. This is 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the 12 hour. A ton of these altcoins, like I've shown you, AVAX, for example, moving into nice little regions, okay? Regions we can't ignore, regions that become sort of reaction zones for us that tell us we can sniff around these areas. So here's 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 for me. Very volatile coin, as we know, 0.7. Okay, that's my 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 support, 0.7. And it's very clear for me. If we lose this zone, I think these guys wipe this candle out pretty quickly, okay? And we get another entry on 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 at 55. Okay, so 55 is your next potential entry zone. So if you are looking at 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, for me, remember, incredibly low leverage on these things. These things are super volatile. They move quickly, and a tiny move on this chart is actually quite a big percentage here. For 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏. If you look at this example here, like for example, if you're taking this trade here on 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 right now and you're taking it on leverage, your risk is already 6%. Okay, so just understand the risk on things like 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏. They're super volatile. They will chow you up. Okay, so low leverage or spot, you're trying to trade these things. And if we do lose this,
what is
bro,
low leverage?
You can't trade fucking 50x in these things. You're going to get rinsed, okay? You're going to get rinsed. Absolutely rinsed. So just be careful. And right now it's a 6% risk here, but you could see why this is a reaction zone. And it's just doing typically what we expect it to do in these areas. It reacts, okay? And then sometimes these things launch off these zones, and then you can catch the trend breaks and you can add. It's a very simple process that you can do. Remember, the strategy always. Okay, reminder for those of you that are new here. Okay, the typical strategy, we drop these altcoins onto super solid support zones. When you're feeling super bearish, they often tend to be on a 382 or 618 fib in those areas. That's where we nibble. That's where we start building our longs. Okay, once we start building our longs, then typically they start bouncing if things turn out in our favor, and then we start getting trend breaks. Okay, so then you can either fresh trade the trend break, or you can start adding to your position that you've just started building on those lows. Remember, those lows happen when you're feeling super bearish. Okay, the trend breaks happen when everybody's feeling euphoric and bullish and things like that. Then they all coming for the trend breaks. But if you can get ahead of the game, these are the typical reaction zones that I like to look at. So here's one for 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and then you can see lower down, I've highlighted this for you, 0.55. Okay, so that would be my next big area here if this area fails on me. Okay, that is my game plan there on 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, and a very super volatile coin. Just be careful. And then I've got a few others for you. I just wanted to give you guys a picture as to what's going on in the altcoin market. Any coins that you are trading as well, you're going to see the same picture on your tokens. Okay, here's super 382 fib, 50-day moving average reaction zone. Okay, if things are dovish tonight, this thing bounces off this area. Okay, if things are relatively flat tonight, I would expect some kind of wick down into that zone just to test you, grab some stops, and then a push up. If things are super hawkish, very simple. We wait for entries. 0.58. Simple game plan here. So super, look for this wick down later tonight, anywhere into 65, 65.5, anywhere in that region. Look for this little fake out in that zone. If we super hawkish, things are sound super bearish, look for the bleed out into 58. Okay, that could be your buy zone. That could be your area. And remember, off these zones, you often get these trends that start playing out, and you might easily just get something like that. And then you get those trend breaks off these type of areas. So looking out for that. And Vincent says, thanks for all the in-depth videos. I hope you're enjoying it, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. Here's another one for you, Doge. Now, doesn't this look exactly the same as AVAX, Super, a ton of these other tokens, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, everything I've just shown you? Like I'm saying, your altcoins that you're looking at now most likely are sitting on good support zones. And another example here is Doge. So you got the 50-day MA, you got the horizontals, and you got the 382 fib. What does it tell me? It tells me this is a reaction zone, and it's doing exactly that. Okay, there it is. It's reacting in that area. And now, typically, if we get the good news today, we should start kicking on from here. So watch out, Doge traders. Look out for a little wick lower down. If they do want to sweat us out, watch that little wick down there. And then you're just looking to target your first move is that 200-day MA. That's what you're going to be watching for. And then a little bit higher up, you've got that 100-day MA. So for me, Doge, looking at 0.123, anything down to about 0.121, 122. Look for a bounce there in that area, subject to Jerome Powell behaving himself. Okay, he can't come out here and tell us there's no rate cuts in September. Okay, remember, the market wants him to hint that the rate cuts are happening in September. If he comes out and says no chance of a rate cut in September, we're fucked. Sell everything. Then we are going down. Okay, so just that is what we're looking for. So just be careful. That is the game plan. And WIF, we might get our entry tonight. So WIF traders still waiting for this entry. I'm looking for this dip lower, a little bit lower here. 2.19 is what I'm waiting for on WIF. You can see I've mapped this one out. Let's wait patiently. I think we're going to get this if we get a little wick into this region. And why do I like that? 50-day MA, trend support, horizontal support as well. So 2.19, love that area here for WIF. If that one fails and things turn ugly, we've got another level here for you guys. It's 2 on the button there, okay? 2 on the button for WIF traders. That is where it's at. And that's me. Okay, so FOMC happening live later. It will be on Banter Plus as well. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to be streaming. And let's see, guys, you've got your levels. You know exactly what to do. You know the game plan. Yeah, be safe. Okay, don't overdo it. See you later. Good luck.